Welcome to Arsenal Studios. This is Learning English with Movies. Today, we're diving into one of the ultimate cult classics of the 90s, Reality Bites. This film, directed by Ben Stiller and starring Winona Ryder, Ethan Hawke, and Stiller himself, captured the struggle, the angst, and the humor of an entire generation. We'll also practice using the past conditional. If you are new here, the goal of this channel is to help pre-intermediate and intermediate English language students practice and improve their English skills by using movies as the main topic. If you like our content, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Reality Bites follows a group of Gen X friends trying to figure out life after college. Bites. In slang, bites means something unpleasant, disappointing, or difficult. For example, Reality Bites suggest that real life can be tough or challenging. Gen X, Generation X. The generation born roughly between the mid-1960s and early 1980s, often characterized as independent, skeptical, and shaped by economic challenges and cultural shifts of the late 20th century. Our main character, Lelena, played by Winona Ryder, is a filmmaker who's working on a documentary about her friends. She captures their ups, downs, and everything in between. And let's not forget the classic love triangle between Lelena, her slacker best friend Troy, played by Ethan Hawke, and her more stable but corporate boyfriend Michael, played by Ben Stiller. Slacker, a term popularized in the 90s to describe someone seen as lazy or unmotivated, often avoiding traditional work or responsibilities in favor of a laid-back lifestyle. Troy and Lelena's dynamic gives us that classic opposites attract tension. He's the brooding, philosophical type, and she's the ambitious dreamer. But they both seem a little lost. And maybe that's what makes them, and the film, so relatable. Brooding, having a dark, thoughtful, or moody quality, often used to describe someone who is deep in thought, typically in a serious or melancholic way. Released in 1994, Reality Bites was one of the first movies to really capture the Gen X experience. This was a generation disillusioned by a tough job market, a fluctuating economy, and a culture that was constantly telling them what they should be doing. Disillusioned. Feeling disappointed and let down, especially after realizing something isn't as good as one once believed. In the movie, we see Lelena struggle to balance her dreams with the realities of adulthood. And we can't talk about Reality Bites without talking about its soundtrack. From Lisa Loeb's iconic Stay to hits by U2 and The Knack, the soundtrack became a defining element of the film and a major part of its legacy. In fact, Loeb's Stay was a huge hit, and even made her the first unsigned artist to reach #1 on the Billboard charts. These songs captured the spirit of the era, and they still bring back a wave of nostalgia. The soundtrack became a voice for a generation grappling with love, friendship, and all the uncertainty that came with it. Grappling. Struggling or trying to manage or understand something difficult, often emotionally or mentally. A lot of people see Troy and Michael as two sides of the Gen X psyche. Michael represents security, climbing the corporate ladder, and fitting into the mainstream. Troy, on the other hand, is skeptical of the system. Mainstream. The ideas, attitudes, and activities that are accepted by the majority of people. What is considered normal or widely accepted. He's moody, unpredictable, and probably a bit much at times, but he embodies that raw, rebellious energy. The characters aren't perfect. They make mistakes, they're indecisive, and they sometimes sabotage themselves. But it's that authenticity that makes the movie feel real. Because let's face it, adulthood rarely looks as neat as we think it should. Neat. Something that is organized, tidy, or pleasingly arranged. Before we continue, I would like to invite you to check out our online course at Thinkific. The Learning English with Movies course was designed for intermediate English language students who love movies and filmmaking. You can practice your English reading and listening skills, learn new key vocabulary and grammar, and confirm your comprehension with fun quizzes. The Learning English with Movies book is also available from Amazon. For more information, as well as fun and useful tips and recommendations, you can follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Now, Let's practice some useful grammar structures. The past conditional. The past conditional, or conditional perfect, is a grammatical structure used to talk about hypothetical situations in the past, things that could have or would have happened if certain conditions had been met. The past conditional is typically used in these scenarios: hypothetical past situations, imagining a different outcome in the past, regrets or missed opportunities, reflecting on what could have been if things had gone differently, expressing consequences of a different past event, considering the what-ifs of a past event. In short, the past conditional helps us reflect on past actions or decisions and their possible outcomes. The structure of the past conditional is straightforward. Subject plus would have plus past participle of the verb. Other modals, like could have or might have, can also be used in place of would to express slightly different meanings, such as possibility, could, or uncertainty, might. Examples: she would have gone to the concert if she had known about it. They might have finished the project if they'd had more time. Let's dive into some examples of the past conditional based on the movie Reality Bites, where characters face choices and what-if situations that could have led to different outcomes. In Reality Bites, Lelena faces tough career decisions and frustrations over being stuck in a job that doesn't align with her goals. If she'd made different choices, her career could have taken a different path. If Lelena had accepted Michael's corporate job offer, she would have had a stable income, but she wouldn't have pursued her passion for filmmaking. She might have found success sooner if she had chosen a more traditional career path. These sentences explore how Lelena's life would have changed if she had chosen stability over her dreams. Troy and Lelena have a complicated friendship that becomes romantic, but there's tension due to Troy's reluctance to commit and Lelena's career ambitions. The past conditional helps imagine how their relationship might have been different with other choices. If Troy had been more open with his feelings, he and Lelena might have started dating earlier. They could have avoided a lot of pain if Troy had communicated better and Lelena had been more forgiving. In these sentences, we consider how past choices could have impacted the course of their relationship. Michael, Lelena's boyfriend, represents a different life path, one of stability and corporate culture. He wants her to sell her documentary to his production company, which she initially considers but later regrets. If Lelena had agreed to let Michael's network edit her documentary, she would have had to compromise her artistic vision. She might have lost her creative integrity if she had sold out to Michael's network. These examples illustrate how her artistic goals would have been affected by prioritizing financial security over authenticity. At the end of Reality Bites, Lelena and Troy end up together, having chosen to pursue their connection despite their fears and uncertainties. But there were other possible outcomes. If Lelena hadn't forgiven Troy for his mistakes, she wouldn't have given him a second chance. Troy might have remained alone and directionless if he hadn't finally opened up to Lelena. This use of the past conditional allows us to imagine alternative endings that hinge on different choices. Thanks for watching. What's your favorite scene or character in Reality Bites? What other Gen X movies would you recommend? Write down your thoughts in the comments below.
You say I only hear what I want to.